Peace, 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 y'all. This is Empress, Coach Rhea Nicole, and this is the AM Inspiration Show. So wake that ass up. Streaming live on all networks, period. Okay? Often imitated and never duplicated. Today, the topic is power over versus power within. With that being said, I'm going to let y'all enjoy this drop for another few seconds, and we're going to get right into the topic, period. Okay? Period, y'all. Peace, 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 peace. It is Thursday. It is Thursday, October the 27th, 2022, period. Okay. And we are here. We are chilling on the one and only AM Inspiration Show to wake that ass up, period. Okay. Now we are going to get into this topic. Okay. Power within, power over versus power within, right? Like, oh, what is she talking about? Like, just think about it. Let's just resting on that. You know, like how we like to rest on things. Let's rest on that for a second, because you had to think about it, like power over versus power within. That's real powerful. So we're gonna come at this from two different angles. We're gonna come at this from the angle of relationships, personal and interpersonal. Okay, so it should be real interesting to come at it from that angle. I'm really excited. And I'm so happy to have y'all here. I'm doing one more thing and then we're going to jump right into it. I apologize. I apologize. I apologize. Let's go. Period. Okay. Now, with that being said, I'm so happy that this is the topic today, because you don't really, like, a lot of topics that we do here, like, period, you don't find anywhere else on anyone else's content, anyone else's channel. You get it here first. You know, this podcast was created to help you develop yourself, you know, physically and mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, physically, consciously, and soulfully. Okay, that's supposed to wake you up, you know, so you can wake up to recognizing your your energy, and recognizing your power, and getting to know your truest self. Okay, because literally, something that my friend Ali Darul, he says, you know, he said in his TED talk, he went in to say that human beings are the most renewable resource on the planet, right? And he has a solar company called writerci.com, right? And you know, he does a lot of different work in the community, but I just never let go of that statement, because that's something that really hit home. You know, because we're into sustainability, right? So humans are the most renewable resource on the planet. And so what does that mean? It means that we deal with power, right? So let's jump right into power in relationships, because power is what the world runs on. So it's no surprise that it turns up often in our personal and interpersonal relationships, right? Because power struggles often loom large between people and intimate partner relationships. You know, people don't understand how to show up in relationships, so they want to fight over power in relationships. Okay, if that makes any sense. Um, and they'll leave one person feeling like they can win in a situation, and the other has to lose. Okay, so like, let's go over some familiarity terms that you may hear if you're in a relationship, or if you have ever been in one, that you can identify a power struggle. Dun, dun, dun. So one is like you must or you should. Another is you can't. Another one is if you love me. And the other one is if you don't, I. Another one is if you do this for me, only then will I. Another one is I must because you aren't. Okay? Period. Dun, dun, dun. And like, why do people say these things? They say these things because the society that we live in, it only shows up with a singular module of power that's highlighted, and that is the power over, right? Yet there's so many different modules than that power that's available to us. Okay, so we're gonna go over a few different types of power today, and just listen in, tap in, come up, share where you can, get in where you fit in. Okay. You know, um, okay. So power of and power over are everywhere in its existence. And it's largely how this world, like this human world, it works. Okay. So it literally is like if you're in a relationship, it leaves you feeling stuck in the endless cycle of power struggles, um like point scoring and paybacks, right? Like, oh, I did this for you, you didn't do anything for me, I'm always doing this. You know what I'm saying? um and also retribution, right? Oh, well, they don't want to do this for me, watch me not do that for them. Oh, they did this to me, watch me do this to them. They hurt me, I want them to hurt even more. So the more unequal the power in the model, the more corrupt it becomes, right? So corruption means that in one power, the one in power has control but misses true happiness or true fulfillment, right? And it encourages that the dominated person, the one that's inferior, to remain in the internal child or to stay in the place of being a victim rather than inviting them to be stepping into their whole selves, right? Their true selves, right? So that will explain that power over a little bit more. So when you think about the power of, okay, the power of is where one person, a group, community, or society or country has more of something than another, okay? That like and they need it and they desire it or they want it. Like if you want to use the word want, I love using the word desire. So it can boil down to resources. Resources include like knowledge, money, the will, skill sets, electricity, like even like our electricity switches, they have power over us, right? So to let us see, keeping us warm, clean, fed, and the communication with others, basically covering all the physiological needs and the safety needs, right? So that definitely can be power of. That's where that falls under that category of power of, physiological needs and safety needs. Okay, so the high vibrational use of power is when the one with it is able to share it with the one who doesn't have it. So someone having all this power and having all these things and telling you, "Oh, you're broke or you're this and that," they're not really stepping into their true selves. They don't really exhibit that integral design of the power of, um and the abuse of this power is where they withhold it. And no one's saying that you should share until you're depleted. No, we're not saying that. We're seeing that when you look down on other people because you have and they have not, you kind of fucked up as a person. Period. Okay. The conversation people don't want to have. Okay. um Abuse of that power is definitely where one wins and the other loses. And people are like, oh, that's just how the world runs. It is how the world runs. It really is. Nobody's saying sit around and be like someone who loses on purpose. No, we're not saying that. We're just saying being mindful on when you win, how you start treating other people. No one wants you to be humble. We just want you to be mindful. It's a difference. I don't believe that. I feel like sometimes that people use humble. They tell people to be humble so they can feel better in someone else winning. Like, oh, don't be happy for yourself. Don't tell people about it, because be humble. Be humble. Like, so they can feel better. Humbleness was created so someone else can feel better. Celebrate yourself. Live your best life, but be mindful in how you project that energy. That's the most important thing you could ever do in your life, in this existence, is to be mindful on how you show up, how you're projecting your energy, how you're impacting others. Okay, and it has nothing to do with humbleness. I guess humility can be a part of that, of course, especially because you're being empathetic. That's why. But when you're just seeing humble in someone to lower them so you can feel better, absolutely not. Period. You know. Let's talk more about the power over dynamic, right? I mean, the power over module, excuse me. So, because the power over module is where one person has power over the other person, um, or one group of another person, community, society, or country, right? This power comes from a dominant controlling force coercing a lesser power to submit. Okay? So power over is maintained through dominance and persistence, certainty, and control. Hello? Is this thing on? I need a minute. Period. Moment's over. Now, this power can be benevolent. You know, for example, a caretaker making a child come home at a certain time for their own safety. It may be an impersonal force, such as the tax office requiring your annual tax return, okay? Or the government um, instigating an anti-discrimination policy for you to adhere to, okay? So literally, the one with the power sets the rules. The one under it feels the impact. Period. Hello? Is this thing on? It's giving 48 laws of power vibes. Okay. So if you need an example can be the person in a relationship with the higher earnings determine where the couple lives. Hello? Now, on occasion, power over can come from underneath when a victim exhibits a learned helplessness in order to get their need met. Okay, let's do another example. A mother who has sat home all day, feigning tirelessly, so her husband will fix dinner and put the kids to bed. Okay, at its most highest, power over offers a sense of safety, guidance, and caring for the one being controlled, such as the husband who organizes care for his ill wife, making her feel safe, cared for, and loved. It also offers a sense of leadership, direction, and sovereignty for the one in power, such as the emotional intelligent wife holding a non judgmental space for her husband to safely feel his emotions. Okay. Right. Because you really got to, understand these dynamics and where they're coming from and stuff like that. Okay. So, I mean, it's so, so important. I think that a lot of times people are not aware. They're not aware. Um, they're not self aware. They're not aware of, and they're not understanding, because literally let's get into the other side of the coin, okay? Because in the absence of any other module of power, if the oppressed person, whether it be a group, community, society, or country, happens to gain power at any time, they often feel the reverse experience for their former oppressors and dominate them back. Okay, that's what most people want to do. They want to dominate other people. They want to make them suffer. They want to pillage them and make them feel pain for the pain that they have received. They want that power. They want that power exchange. They don't want to transmute the power into something better when they get power. They want to do the same thing. So they want to just, reverse it back and inflict the things that they had felt like they were inflicted upon them. Okay, the impact that happened to them. Okay, whether it's disproportionate or not. Um, because a lot of the times, for their former oppressed, like people, they enjoy a moment of revenge. They enjoy that, like by human nature, they enjoy that, because mostly not knowing any other way. So we see this in a disempowered spouse who badmouths their controller partner behind their back, enjoying the sympathy of their friends, but not addressing the situation directly with their partner. Again, this shows up in, for example, the disempowered spouse who badmouths their controlling partner behind their back, enjoying the sympathy of their friends, but not addressing the situation directly with their partners. Can you say problematic for 100, Alex? Hello, is this thing on? Hello? So there's literally low vibrations in this power module. Um, and it can easily be self-serving and abused, through overt anger, covert criticism, manipulation, repression, forced discrimination, corruption, and more, leaving the dominated person feeling powerless and oppressed. Okay? So, power over by itself is not the healthiest module for a relationship. Okay? Dun, dun, dun. Now, let's talk about power with, okay? So, power with is about being inclusive, finding and discovering common ground and building together through a collective strength. It sees each person, group, community, society, or country as a part of the same team with their differences as creative opportunities. It seeks to build bridges and minimize conflict rather than create struggle. Power with acts not from self interest, but sees the views and desires of all having equity within value, re- recognizing and addressing them alike, right? So, honesty, transparency, and respect for each other are key parts to this module. Each person is, always encouraged to see their actions as part of a greater whole, and out of each person's value expression comes the insight required to find new ways to cultivate solutions for the whole. Period. Hello. Now, unlike its predecessor, Power Over, where one person must continually reinforce it to sustain it, Power With emerges organically from the process of creating it and grows stronger the more it's put to use. Okay? Power With is a form of co creative collaboration with a common goal. One of the healthiest modules you can use for personal and interpersonal relationships. Okay? Because, for example, like rather than a husband saying, "This is the way it's going to be because I say," and the wife going along in order to create the minimum amount of conflict, or vice versa, Power With offers a different path. The husband and wife get together to discuss their differing desires with a mutual underlying goal of creating a happy relationship through win-win outcomes. Okay? For example, John visits his mate and Paula takes her daughter shopping for baby clothes. You know what I'm saying? So they can both go cycling together. You know, they negotiate their individual wishes for the good of the relationship because they know if the relationship is cared for, so will they. You know what I'm saying? They care for that relationship. That means they are fulfilled, and this is why I always talk about when you meet people that say 50-50 and all this other bullshit that don't even matter. That don't even matter because as a relationship, when you showing up, you need to show up 100% to that relationship. Now, as a person, of course, you're always developing self. So let me break this down real quick on what I mean, and then we're going to hop right into the next one, okay? So what I mean by showing up fully and wholly as yourself is when you're pouring into a relationship, you're putting 100% into that relationship, right? Each partner, right? Now, it's not your partner's job to be like, oh, or you to be like, oh, I'm insecure. You need to help me with insecurity. No, they don't need to help you with your insecurities. The only security they need to bring is to the relationship. So they're making you see that they're not going to cheat you, that they're loyal to you, that they're, following the structure of the relationship. They're abiding by the foundation of the relationship, and they're doing right by you. So if you're feeling insecure and you're crazy and you're toxic, all that shit is a self problem. Period. Hello? Now, that's a self issue. That's an issue with yourself that you need to work on. It's not the responsibility of the person in the relationship, because that's not the relationship. That's a part of the relationship. That's you. That's yourself. So that's how you're showing up to the relationship. So whatever you pouring in, you're not pouring in 100% because you're making it about you. The relationship is when you both pour into the relationship to make it healthy and wise. Now, if you're unhealthy, you can never pour into a relationship in a healthy way ever. It's impossible, because you're never going to show up for that person the way they need you to. You're never going to show up for the relationship the way they need you. It's not going to happen. So that's what we're talking about when we think about that module that we just spoke on. Okay. Woo. So the only thing that might be considered low vibrational for some people that's in relationship, because some people like to move way too fast, is that this power module, it takes a degree of time, experience, and skills to practice it. So a lot of people are unable to identify and express their desires and work towards a mutually agreeable outcome. Unless the module is done authentically with honest input, it can become a place of nobody going anywhere and getting nothing done. Okay? A place of repetition. Repetition, okay? Period. That's doing nothing for you. Hello? Now, the next type of module is definitely empowerment, okay? Because empowerment refers to the unique potential of every person, right? Now, damn well we not basing no relationships off potential, so let's get that absolutely clear. Fuck that bullshit. Fuck with your period, hello. I'm not even joking with y'all. Is this thing on? Okay. So, but anyway, empowerment refers to the unique potential of every person, group, community, society, or country to shape his or her own existence and world, right? It is the ability to take action and create your own outcomes. It is where, as the individual, they can have hope, self confidence to believe they can make a difference, okay? Because that matters. So, as well as self assertiveness, decision making, power, and ability to learn whatever skills and find whatever resources that you may desire to accomplish your desires. Okay? So, saying to yourself that I am empowered or different things of that nature, to a degree, literally is like you are empowered and you can construct what you need by yourself and you don't have to get it from anyone else, right? So the negative aspect to this module is that there are many things in life that we cannot do alone, and we have to recognize that. It takes more than one person and requires a degree of relationships to do so. Okay, it takes a lot of skill sets to harness all these powers and different things like that in a healthy way. So if you're not big on developing self, learning skill sets, you think you know everything, you're only willing to listen to the messenger and not the messages from anyone, then you're kind of never going to be able to get to this module in a healthy way. Okay, so just keep those few things in mind. Okay, so the fact that there are so many like few things that we accomplish to totally alone, you know you're thinking like, oh well, you know what, um you know even this chair you're sitting on, it literally was made by somebody else. Like, did you make the chair you're sitting on? Wow. I know y'all like Petty Betty, Petty McGee. Okay, hello, Petty McGee, petty.org. Because some people be like they self-made whole time they be sitting on somebody else's couch. Wow. Wow. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, believing we do everything ourselves create unnecessary arrogance and isolation. And there are many things we choose. Even long way to share with others. Intimacy with another is about connecting, sharing, and co-creating together. Okay, so keep that in mind. Keep that in mind that that's what intimacy can be about. Oh shit, they saying they can't hear me. Don't know why they can't hear me. Um. Okay. Well, I don't know what's going on with Clubhouse, but I know that my other app can't hear me. So I don't know. Clubhouse is just. I have no idea why. It just seems like it's always some technical issues. I'm sorry for that, guys. Now, like we were saying, getting back to that, I apologize for that, guys. So, when there are many things we choose, even long to share with others, intimacy with another is about connecting, sharing, and co creating together. So, while empowerment is important, we have to further a module of power that includes more than just the self, right? So, power within it comes from a sense of self, right? Group, community, society, or country, from knowing we are separate to yet the part of the world around us, from having identified our own intrinsic value, right? So power within means we are no longer relying on external sources of power, money, looks, achievement, symbols of status, or fame to feel complete, happy, whole about ourselves, right? So having power within means we can stay centered, grounded, open hearted, no matter what life or our partner throws at us, okay? So when we become off balance, as this can happen when challenged in life in a relationship, we have that intimate knowledge and that place to find our own center, right? And our own answers within our own selves, okay? So it literally is the power that results from doing deep inner emotional and spiritual work, that shadow work, and that light work to heal pain, fears, and false beliefs acquired, whether it's in a childhood or adulthood, that create limited ego mass we present to the world, okay? Because the ego mask that fears loss of safety, security, or self of those we love or need love from, right? You know, without the inner work, we are forever stuck in ego's fear-based desires for control, for power over others and outcomes, right? So literally this was a great behind podcast, right? Because listen, power within means we have awareness of others as well as self. Because with access to empathy and compassion, we can care, we can remain interconnected and share, but not at the loss of ourselves, okay? So our goal is growth rather than harmony. Yet we achieve harmony because how we show up within our growth. Does that make sense to you? So, from a place of clarity and mutual respect, we can honestly express our desires, manage our boundaries, and explore a multitude of outcomes and possibilities for any given situation than just one or two, right? Okay? So, we have a strong inner, like like that intuition literally is like a BS detector, okay? And it prevents us from getting caught in the quagmire for so long, forming a co-creative power with the others for for an inspirational end result, for that sustainable result, for that solutionary result, okay? Period. Okay. So there's not really a lot to like a negative for like power within, because like literally people might get upset because it's taking them so long to get to that point of being their highest self, or they don't have the efforts or skills to discover it. So, but if you need them effort or skills, follow our podcast. Period. Listen to all the episodes, okay, and get you and discover and learn how to tap in, because there's so many skills, and stuff that we provide for y'all that it's free. Why not? Okay, why not? Period. Why not? Now once you discover it, is nothing else is worth your energy. You're gonna always want to be interconnected to your own self and tapped in. Okay, so it's just gonna leave you with so many beautiful moments, and there's literally no downsides to having power within. Okay, literally, except for like you might be feeling discouraged or something like that because it's taking so long to happen. That's it. So with that being said, I am your host, Empress, Coach Rena Nicole, and this was the AM Inspiration Show to wake that ass up. Streaming live on all networks, period. Look us up on Divine Intervention Show. Hashtag it, Google it. You'll find us on every single network available for podcasting. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in and showing up. With that being said, I will see y'all tomorrow. Stay peace, stay safe, stay blessed. Peace, y'all.